to the Pony Pad Podcast. I am your host, Tootsie Forever, and joining me here is LittleshyFIM and Turtle Pain. And now, guys, are you ready for this? Today, we get to go over a topic that pretty much, I don't know, I get comments on videos every now and then on live streams and on Twitter, mainly from kids and teenagers. But my question to you guys is how do I tell my parents that I am a brony?
Yeah, this is a question I see pop up a ton, even in my own
really
comments. And I do wonder how much of it is it like older fans like that have more to lose in terms of respect, or is it just little kids who like consider it a bigger issue than it really is? I kind of wonder.
I think,
you go ahead, Tootsie.
I just think like the people who mainly have trouble telling their parents that they're a brony is like, I see it as like it's like any other show. Like, I'm not gonna make a big deal and tell my parents that I'm a big fan of The Flash. I'm not going to go all out with it.
Well, the thing is, we see it that way now after years of being in the fandom. But back when I was new, this was a real concern for me.
Yeah, same.
And the other thing is like the difference between saying you like The Flash, and I realize I'm still holding this, so I'm going to put that down. But the difference between saying you like The Flash and liking My Little Pony is Flash is kind of, it's more socially acceptable to say I like this show that is essentially a comic book made for young male adults that is targeted towards me, whereas the other one, it's a bit more girly, a bit more out of most people's comfort zones.
And even just cartoons in general is kind of fun by some people.
Like, my parents didn't really care when I told them I was a brony because I was already obsessed with, like, other things. Like, they knew I watched Totally Spies. They knew I watched Powerpuff Girls. Like, when I told them I like My Little Pony, they honestly didn't care at all. Like,
are you me? That sounds exactly what went through with me.
The thing is that I was building up like, oh my god, what am I going to do? How am I going to tell my parents that I like this? Like, I know. Yep. If they don't accept me, I'll just say I'm not their son anymore.
Yeah, you'll have to like
disown them.
But I really just feel like a lot of people who have mainly trouble with this, and I could be wrong, is the ones who are just too invested into My Little Pony and just think it's like the world's changing or whatever.
Too invested. That could mean a number of things. I think I'm too invested.
I think I'm fairly invested, but not too invested. People have told me
I am too. I'm drinking out of a pony cup.
That's a G1 pony cup.
Yeah, it's different.
Hey, it works.
On my level.
Okay. Whoa, where'd you get that? Give me one.
Shit. But I'm not really sure. Did you guys ever have any problems with telling your parents that you were a brony?
I casually brought it up in conversation, like, hey, I found a new show, and they're like, okay. And part of it, I think, is also, like, my dad is also a Trekkie. He likes Star Trek a lot. So he's kind of understanding of, like, oh, it's something that's a bit weird. Some people might not agree with it, but, you do you.
Yeah, I kind of had, like, the initial, like, one day where I finally had to tell them why I was buying toys in the mail, because I'm getting all these suspicious packages, and I have to say something. And so that day was awkward. But from then on, between... like, it just started to be less of a big deal, and bringing my dad to actual BronyCons, and he kind of understands that aspect of it. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, there was that initial awkwardness and all that, but other than that, it's not really, like, looking back, even then it was a non-issue, even if I thought it was. I don't know if that makes any sense.
For me, it was, no, for me, it was like, I told my mom when I was driving back from a funeral. I know, that's the best time to tell your parents. But
yeah, you have some interesting timing there. It's like, sorry, Mom, I got some more bad news for you.
No,
my grandmother. Wait, what was it say?
No, my mom didn't really care. She was just like, okay.
For me, my grandmother she had the best knee-jerky response that most people are afraid of getting, which was I said to both my mom and my grandmother at the same time. I was like, yeah, I'm watching a new show, and I was like, oh, what's the show? I said it was. My grandmother goes she stops everything. She goes, are you gay?
My grandmother still thinks I sell toys for a living. I try to explain to her, no, it's just something I collect for fun, but she sees my room and it's like, oh, how's the toy sales business going?
No, apparently not well. You've not moved a lot of merchandise in a while.
Yeah, that's true. I still
Little Shy's a scalper confirmed.
Yeah.
No, but I think, this doesn't really apply to us because we're not in school or in college or whatever. But
although I became a brony in my senior year of high school, so I did have 1 year of being a brony in school.
The ones I've really heard of from, and I'm sorry I can't talk today, but from what I heard is that a few people that have problems with this are mainly teens that are still in high school or in middle school or in elementary, and they just want to bring
preschool.
They bring pony stuff to school and they get made fun of for it.
Well, I mean, there is like a threshold of acceptability in my opinion. Like, if you like Pinkie Pie, you necessarily don't have to go to school in a giant Pinkie Pie shirt. Like, you're asking to be made fun of then, but
yeah.
At the same time, I mean, it's never justified to be like bullied or harassed over that.
No
sort of thing, but
victim
you should
blaming.
expect to be made fun of.
I never really wore any pony things to school because I became brony like after I graduated. But I would just say to tell your parents you're a brony is just treat it like any other show. I mean, why treat it like this any different? Like, or I don't know how. I'm trying my best to explain.
Yeah,
it.
basically,
Sorry,
that's because this one is God. This one is
like sit down and have a family meeting to confess your interests.
Yeah,
That
like it's not your new religion or lifestyle choice.
Or is it?
Like you do that, you do that. Like the one
Don't
thing I know.
treat it like that.
No, if you do that,
If it is.
if you like bring your parents in like a giant room, your whole family get it like a giant event, and then it's like they're gonna think, oh my god,
have a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, they're gonna
with a tie on.
First thing they're gonna do is think you're gay, and second of all, really, there's no reason for that. There's no reason for that at all.
So I guess the question is, what is the right way?
The right way is to bring it up. If you must bring it up in casual conversation as a passing comment, like, "Hey, I like this show," and then also be willing to talk about other topics.
And my advice would be to compare the show to other cartoons and compare the fandom to other fandoms, because really, I mean, to an outsider, we're not that unique. It's only those of us that have been here a long time and understand the depths and intricacies of the fandom that think it's that unique and special. But to the outsiders, it's just another cartoon, another fandom. So you don't really need to treat it as anything else to them.
That's basically all we can say about how to tell your parents you're a brony.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just treat it like any other show, any other thing that you would like, and don't treat it like it's your new lifestyle. This is the way you're going to be from now on.
It's funny, for such a simple explanation, this question pops up so often. Like,
it does.
I guess there is no easy answer. It's really just a spur of the moment whenever like it's an appropriate time to bring it up.
Another thing is, I don't know. I've started to just say this to people, but is there really a reason you need to tell your parents that you're a brony? Like, I understand if you want to be like what we do and collect ponies, but
yeah, it's like you need some explanation.
Like, if you're not collecting
how do I explain this?
Like, if you're not collecting the ponies, then there's really no reason to there's really no reason to tell people that you're a brony at all. That's how I see it.
Yeah, there's no easy way to tie up this topic because it's so open-ended. It really depends on the situation, the people you're trying to explain it to.
Like, we can't just give you a card and say this to them, and then everything will be perfect, because it really depends on your relationship with your parents and whoever it is you're telling, and how they feel about something. They could be really open to it, like my parents were, or they could be completely against like the idea of you liking animation at all.
Yeah, because like some people just like it's dead set that the cartoons are for little kids. Like there's no redeeming value in cartoons at all, and
they are for little
a lot
kids.
Of crappy cartoons, but it's not really. It's not completely true. I mean, Samurai Jack is a cartoon, and that's TV 14 now, right?
Family Guy is a cartoon, and that's not for kids at all. But kind of in a way, but
although only kids watch it, right?
Yeah, only kids watch it. It's not for kids. Kids watch it.
Yeah.